services to try and increase their ability to do drop-in sessions. I think having just that open communication with student services and the students, so even maybe just tweeting out or putting out on the Facebook page that this is going on at this certain date, and just having that openness with them and building that bridge between student services and students, because I know that there is quite a bit of stigma behind that, so trying to break down that group.
Victoria?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Michael said. I believe that I set in mind to give training, so I feel like being a welfare officer as well now, it's really important to know like the variation of issues that they're faced with. So to receive like correct training and appropriate training will allow students to get the best outcome of seeking that service. And like Michael said, it's harder to break that stigma when you're not being social about it. So like you said, it was a great idea to put stuff out on Twitter and things like that.
Perfect. And for your second question, starting with Victoria this time. Despite incredible efforts this year, in our most recent Blink survey, only 51.8% of students stated they know how to get in touch with their student academic rep. What will you do as the Vice President of Education and Welfare to ensure more students are aware of their reps and know how to engage in a fundamental part of student voice and democracy?
I think, first of all, definitely start plugging it as Freshers Fair. Start with the Freshers, but even though I know as a third, fourth year, I've come to Freshers Fair, and you do look around the stalls, and if you don't just advertise it at the start, you need to continuously advertise it throughout the year, because it's not just at the start that things get hard. It's now, week 6, week 7, that people need to know about before. So there needs to be certain talks, like live streams on the union page, things like that, just social things that help the students know. So we could put surveys out, things like that, which is to find out how's best to contact the students as a social group, which I think will get to an array of people more.
Michael?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Victoria was saying. I think building that community, it's all really about communication, because building the bridge between communicating with the students who your stars are, your student academic reps are, is really important. So I believe even just creating a slight page on the student union website that these are the academic stars for your course, and breaking that down by course, programme, everything like that, it's just, it's all about creating that communication between the students.
Perfect. Now we're going to open it up to the floor. Please ensure that any questions you have are aimed at both candidates and not one particular candidate. I will then repeat it so that we can make sure everyone's heard it, and then we'll pass over to the candidates. Do we have any questions from the floor? Aaron?
How would you ensure that student academic reps are able to hold faculties to be accountable?
So how will you support student academic reps in holding the faculty accountable? Starting with Michael, please.
So it is a good question, because the student academic reps, they seem to be elected, and then that's kind of it. They aren't seen to be that accountable in the fact that they don't feel to have that much power. Where if elected, I would make sure to support my student academic reps no matter what. If they believe something is going wrong in their course, then I would actively pursue that with them.
Victoria?
Yeah, completely agree. I think having communication is the best sort of way to do it. So whether that be monthly meetings or termly meetings, semesterly meetings, to see what's going on and have that open door policy that they do have at the student union, so anyone can come talk to you about any concerns, and just having that drive to make things better will then allow people to do that, I guess.
Do we have any other questions from the room? Harold?
Having held the Office of Welfare Officer for the past year, and now it being changed into a sabbatical, if elected, I have the option to choose.
Please ensure your question is related to the candidates and not to yourself.
If any of us have the option to choose a welfare and well-being specialty, how would you look to integrate that into your role?
Student officers don't have portfolios anymore, so as when they come into office, they will begin to choose what their priorities are. If a candidate or a student officer was to choose welfare as their priority, how will you support them in doing that, and how will you also support the continued work that you would be doing? Starting with Victoria, please.
I mean, I don't really know any of you, if I'm quite honest, sorry. But I think that's a chance to get to know you. So if I was elected, or if Michael was elected, I'm sure, I would, like, if you chose to do welfare, I would have meetings with you to get to know you, but not like formal meetings, like informal meetings, go for coffee, to make sure that we're sort of on the same page about things, because you would have as much, not as, I don't know about that, but you would have a lot of input into that area, and if you have specialties in that, I would like to know them, because it would be a new role for education and welfare, so the more knowledge you have, the better job you can do about it.
And Michael?
Yeah, I completely agree. Even if, for instance, one student officer does choose to go down the welfare path, all 5 student officers will have an input into welfare across campus. So it's making sure that, as the Vice President of Education and Welfare, you are listening to all officers as well as students' input, because welfare is such an important part, is such an important thing when you are a student, because I'm not going to lie, a lot of our welfare does suffer, and a lot of us do have issues during our time here at uni. So making sure to combat that, and having, as Victoria was saying, having these informal like one-to-ones and just discussions, and opening up that, it is all about communication, opening up that communication with everyone, and making sure that the talks that happen in these informal one-to-ones are like posted out to Twitter, being like, this is what I had in the discussion today, and just making sure that that communication with the students is there.
Okay, we've got 2 more questions. Welfare is a recent addition to this role's title. What do you believe are the top priorities for students' welfare and well-being, and what will you do in relation to this priority as a Vice President of Education and Welfare? Michael.
So, yeah, welfare is a new addition to the role. As I did previously just say, welfare is such an important part. In terms of welfare, I think just offering help and support and making sure that you are there for any student. So if that's having an open door policy, to be there just to listen to their issues, if they're just having a bad day, or they've had a bad lecture, or they're just stressed about their build-up of assignments, is making sure that you are there as the Vice President of Education and Welfare to support the student body and the students that you're representing.
And Victoria?
Yeah, I definitely think that, well, obviously it's a new role, so it's definitely important to like pinpoint the welfare sort of side of it. I think we've all noted, like definitely me in my like 3rd and 4th year doing my dissertation, I struggled so hard, like mentally, like getting the work done, things like that. I was crying in the library, and you need to know that like there's someone there for you. Where I thought there was a massive stigma, like I felt so bad going to someone and being like, I've had such a bad day today, but that's still your own welfare and that you need to take responsibility of. And if you know there's a friendly person in charge of that, and you have a relationship with them that you can talk about things with, even if it's just, oh, the woman in the KKB messed up my coffee order, like that sometimes does put, like it's like too many straws broke the camel's back. It doesn't matter how little or how big your problem is to other people, it's still a problem to you. So you need to communicate that over and make sure that everyone feels welcome talking to yourself.
And then my last question to you both. Social and silent study space is quite obviously limited across campus, whilst being an exact opposite to student demand and need. What creative ways will you help to solve this issue, Victoria?
I think, obviously I didn't write about this in my manifesto, but you did. But definitely, there's so many spaces around campus that aren't used at all the same time. So you walk like down the campus and there's so many classrooms that aren't being used with space, like seating space, desk space, computer space, and I think they should be opened up. If we put it on the union page, be like, these spaces are open up today, go into your library help desk and book one of the places, and then it's just like a fair service for everyone to get them. It's not like, oh, I'm going to offer it to this one person because you need it. It's like there for everyone. And I understand that the library is so cramped and things like that, and there's nothing really you can do, because it's not like I can say, I'm going to build another building so everyone can come in. It's more like finding the spaces that we have and making them readily available for everyone. So I think it's the communication again, just getting it out there to people.
And Michael?
Yeah, I completely agree. It's, as Victoria mentioned, it is part of my manifesto, and looking at spaces that are available and that aren't being used by the university, so teaching rooms, performance areas, lecture halls, anything like that that is going to benefit the students in any way. So if you need to prepare for a presentation, if you've got like a group assignment to do, or even if you've just got individual assignments to do, having that private area to focus and not have any distractions, because you can come and work in the student union room, but realistically there's so much going on in here that you will get distracted. So having that private area is going to benefit. So if that's adding that to the library catalogue of rooms that you can book, or having it specifically through the student union, I think that's just going to be a great benefit for all students.
Perfect. We're just calculating how long you have for your closing remarks. Michael, you have 2 minutes for your closing remarks. Victoria, you have 1 minute. Victoria, could you go first, please?
Just if you like the sound of anything that I've said today, sort of just go check out my manifesto online. It's along with everyone else's. I would just definitely say that I do have such a passion for education, and I think education does come hand in hand with welfare. And it's so amazing now that they are together, because you can work more deeply with them both to crush the issues that we're having at this university. And through the year, if I get it, I hope that I could do that for all you. So yeah, thank you for listening.
And Michael?
There's been a lot of talk to me our manifestos are our strongest point. So please go look through our manifestos, see, obviously they would be quite similar, so see which candidate you believe in. If you like what either of us have said, please come and speak to us. We are open, we are here for the next week to talk about our issues. So yeah, that's it. So if you think what you've heard from me today is good, then please vote Michael for Vice President of Education.
Please give it up to both our candidates. So we'll be moving back to our speeches and into the category of Vice President activities, starting with Bradley Holland. Please could I ask that when candidates come up, if they don't need them, please don't bring your mobile phones up to the stage either. And if you're anywhere close to the speakers, could you avoid using your mobile phones? We can hear the feedback. Sorry, candidate.
Alright, so my name's Bradley and I'm running for your Vice President of Activities this year. I'm currently in my third year as a sport coaching student, and I've also been lucky enough to work my way through the committee of men's basketball, starting off with social sec and vice captain in my second year, and now currently captain this year. I just want to have a quick chat with you about the sort of things my manifesto and my campaign is built on. There's three main areas. The main area would be, the first main area is making the most of the vault and the terrace bar. Okay, we've got a great space as a university for a smaller university. I just feel like we could be using it a lot more than we are currently. Realistically, every week it's detention on bot. I've done a bit of research, looked at other SUs at different universities, and most universities have got stuff going on every day during the week. Okay, things like football at the weekends in the terrace bar, whether it be karaoke nights. Okay, I want to look at bringing in a bongo bingo sort of night where all students are welcome. If you're not a part of society or anything like that, you've got the chance to win things, anything from a meal deal to a Winchester hoodie. Societies could win pop entry or things like that. So just something that we could use this space for. Another part of my campaign was getting equal opportunities for societies. So sport teams get colours, things like that, whereas societies, their award night gets tied in with the with the SU Awards night, so giving them their own space and things like that. And the last point is increasing the image of sports team society at the university. One of the ways I want to do this is introduce a Team Winchester wall and league and award system. So that would be adding the competition I'm running out of time of inter-university sort of sports. So competing against other teams in your own sport, in gaining points when you win.
Time, candidate. Your next candidate for Vice President Activities is Charlie Baker.
There's a lot more here, I think. My name's Charlie, and I'm running to be on Vice President Activities. Just a bit about me. I'm a third-year psychology student, currently captain of the Rounders team, as I have been for the last 2 years. Hopefully many of you have looked at my manifesto, but if you haven't, I'm just going to quickly talk about them now. So my first aim is to focus on increasing the SU funding. Being captain, to get to know other captains, I understand the pressures of trying to develop a team, and usually that's restricted to funding. So already the SU has a massive amount of funding that goes into sport teams and societies. If elected, I want to increase that by working with the Winchester Council, as at the end of the day we don't just represent the uni, we represent Winchester as a whole. So if elected, I will strive to inquire that a bit further. My second aim is to increase and encourage more fundraising and charity work. Already sport teams and societies organise events that support their own teams as well as charities of their choice. Therefore, if elected, I want to promote more organised charity events and try and give incentives, especially to societies, to get involved. That could either be through like Society of the Week, like we already have a Team of the Week for BOP, we want to have a Society of the Week. Obviously not everyone goes to BOP, so we can bring in prizes to like Amazon vouchers, stuff like that. My third aim is to increase and to have an accessible student union. What I mean by that is we have so many opportunities here at Winchester, and I want to give all societies the chance to promote their teams as a whole. So by doing that, I want to try and organise a second Freshers' Fair, particularly in semester 2, because a lot of particularly freshers feel nervous about joining societies later on in the year. Already we do have one of them, but I want to publicise it a bit more and try and get as much of the Winchester committee to...
Time, candidate. And your next candidate is Ellen O'Dwyer.
Hi, I'm Ellen. I study geography and I also volunteer in Winchester. I've been part of women's hockey for my 3 years here, and I was elected as social sec in my second year. I'm super friendly, relatable and approachable, and I've got a lot of empathy and support to give. I know that being on a team and getting involved has 100% made my time here at Winchester, and it really is the activities that you participate in that will define your time here the most, and I really want everyone else to experience that. I want an equal and inclusive SU for all. I want to ensure that every student takes full advantage of the activities the SU provide, because each student deserves the most enjoyable and successful experience. I will ensure that all teams and societies receive equal treatment, support, attention and appreciation, because that's what they all deserve. I know we've all lots of us have addressed mental health, but I am very aware that the current VP has worked with student services, which has been very valuable. And I will continue this work and work with the welfare officers and officer by doing outreach work for our teams and societies. No one should miss out on SU events such as Bucks and BOP due to mental health reasons, and I want to tackle this by establishing what more the SU and student services can do together. I want to make sure that we all talk openly about mental health, and as an SU that we raise awareness regularly through charity campaigning, and by doing this we can reduce the stigma attached to mental health, and in turn will benefit all our teams and societies and students in general. I also want to ensure that the SU are regularly promoting and celebrating all our sports, societies, events and volunteering opportunities. One example I've thought of is having a society in the spotlight or a team takeover through social media. And I'll publish a weekly schedule of who's playing, at what time, where they are, so whoever's available on campus or at home can come and support. I'll ensure that Team of the Week is shared and celebrated as an SU, and as well as a weekly roundup of fixture results. I will also publish a...
Time, candidate.
Thank you.
Please can I invite all 3 candidates to join me on stage. So for the first question, we'll start with Charlie and then work our way down. The Student Union has clear policies regarding initiations and initiation-type behaviour, as they are evidenced as a form of both bullying, harassment and exclude participation. What is your stance on initiations, and what will you do if believed necessary to ensure union activities are more inclusive?
Like you said, obviously they are banned for a reason, and at the end of the day, as a union, we are in charge of the safety and well-being of our students, and we want to make sure they feel part of a team or society. So I'm very much against the idea. I feel that it's not. It puts people off joining the society, and to obviously encourage. Yeah, I just feel it's not. I'm very much against it.
Bradley?
Yeah, so I agree with what Charlie said. It does put people off wanting to join the society, wanting to come back is the other part. And it also gives the society a bad name as a whole, as well as